30,000 years ago, before humans built cities, before fire touched the night sky with smoke, something vast entered Earth's orbit. A fleet of alien ships, shining like silver giants, descended through the clouds. They did not come as friends. They came for war. Yet something happened that the galaxy would never record. The aliens, though powerful, were in retreat from another battle. They left behind one of their greatest warships, damaged but still alive, hidden deep beneath the Earth. Alongside it, they stored supplies, weapons, and technology no human mind could yet understand. The aliens swore they would return. To them, 30,000 years was only a pause, a short silence in their long history. They left Earth, certain that when they came back, the humans would still be crawling in caves too, weak to challenge them. And so the great ship slept. Generations passed. Humans rose from fire to stone, from stone to steel, from steel to the stars. The ship remained buried, its dark hull waiting under layers of soil and rock. Strange stories grew around it. Legends of a metal mountain in the ground, whispers of lights that glowed beneath the earth, tales of thunder that rumbled where no storm had passed. For centuries, humans treated it as myth, a story to frighten or amaze. But myths have roots, and one day those roots were uncovered. It began with explorers in a forgotten valley. Their tools struck not stone, but metal. A sound echoed that no earth should make. They dug, and what they found was not ruins of men, but the skeleton of something far greater. Smooth black steel stretched beyond the reach of their lights. Doors sealed with unknown symbols, guarded tunnels filled with silence. Humanity had found the sleeping warship. At first, governments hid the discovery. Scientists were brought in secret. They touched walls that hummed with ancient power, opened chambers filled with machines that defied human knowledge. Engines that seemed dead flickered awake when touched. Weapons that had never been fired in human wars whispered promises of destruction. Humanity realized the truth. They were not alone in the universe. They had never been alone. For decades, the ship was studied in silence. Every piece unlocked knowledge. Circuits became the foundation of new machines. Energy cores inspired power systems that lit entire cities. Weapons showed paths to technologies humans had once only dreamed of. Slowly, carefully, humanity changed. What had been found in the earth was not just a ship, it was a seed, and it planted something powerful in the heart of mankind. The galaxy never knew. The aliens who left the ship never returned. Until now. 30,000 years later, stars shifted. A fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's sky. Alien ships, scarred by age but still mighty, cut through the void. Their commanders looked down at Earth with cold eyes. To them, it was still the same small planet. A place of dust, a place of children, a place of nothing. They sent messages, their voices proud and commanding. We have returned for what is ours. The ship belongs to us. The supplies belong to us. Step aside. On Earth, silence answered. Them. No panic, no cries, no surrender, just silence. The aliens expected fear, but fear did not come. Instead, they saw something rising from the clouds. Human ships, sleek, sharp, glowing with power, lifted into the skies. War machines forged not by accident, but by the knowledge buried long ago. Humanity had not only uncovered the forgotten ship, they had learned from it, rebuilt from it, grown from it. But the aliens did not understand. They laughed. They looked at the human fleets and called them toys, crude copies of true power. They believed 30,000 years meant nothing, that humans could not rise beyond their primitive place. To them, Earth was still a child's world, and children were meant to kneel. Yet in the silence of Earth, something darker waited. Humanity had carried the burden of the forgotten ship for centuries. They had studied its every shadow, its every secret. They had rebuilt it into their own image, and in doing so, they had built more, fleets stronger than what the galaxy remembered. The forgotten ship was no longer just an alien relic. It was a warning and a promise. The aliens had come back for their ship, But humanity had been waiting. The skies darkened as the fleets faced each other, human engines burning bright against the void. The alien commanders sneered, certain of their victory. But deep in their cold hearts, a flicker of unease grew. The humans were not shouting, not pleading, not bowing. They were silent. And silence from a species like humanity was never safe. The galaxy had forgotten what humans could become. The aliens were about to remember, and as the first shadows of battle stirred in the heavens, Earth's long patience was about to break. The sky above Earth was no longer empty. On the edge of the solar system, alien ships appeared, dark, massive, and ancient. Their hulls bore scars from battles long forgotten, yet their size and design still spoke of power. To the aliens, 30,000 years was nothing but a long breath. They believed the galaxy had stood still in their absence. They believed Earth would still be weak. Their flagship opened a transmission. A voice echoed across human channels, heavy with arrogance. "We have returned. We come for what is ours. The warship you guard, the supplies you touched, they belong to us. Humans, step aside or be crushed." In the Galactic Council chambers, across the stars, whispers rose. The old masters, as they were once called, had returned. Long ago they had ruled through fear, and now they sought to reclaim what they had lost. Most species trembled at their name. But Earth was silent. No messages of surrender came from human leaders. No desperate pleas reached the stars. Instead, Earth's defenses stirred. Across the planet, launch bays opened, engines roared, and ships rose like steel giants piercing through clouds. Fleets of human warships formed above the atmosphere, their black hulls shining with fire. The aliens laughed when they saw them. To their eyes, the designs looked young, crude, and unworthy of standing against ancient power. They mocked the humans, calling them children playing with toys. Their commanders assured their crews that this would be quick, that Earth would bow as it once had. But the laughter carried unease. The humans' silence was wrong. There was no panic, no hesitation. The fleets rose in perfect formation. Every ship disciplined, every weapon locked and ready. And when the human commander finally spoke, his voice was calm, steady, and cold. "You left your warship on our world. You thought we would remain children. But 30,000 years have passed. You do not know what we have become." The words unsettled the alien council aboard the flagship. Their sensors scanned the human fleet again and again. The readings made no sense. The ships did not match anything in their records. Their engines burned brighter than they should. Their shields pulsed with strange energy. It was as if the humans had built something new, something even the old masters could not understand. Still, arrogance blinded them. The alien commander sneered. "You cannot frighten us. We are the rulers of the stars. You will kneel." And then, as if to prove their dominance, the alien fleet descended. Thousands of ships cut through the void, their weapons glowing, their engines blazing trails across the heavens. They surrounded Earth like a cage of fire. From the ground, humans looked up and saw the sky filled with shadows. For a brief moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Children pointed at the strange lights, elders whispered of legends, and soldiers waited in silence. Yet no fear spread. Humanity had known this day would come. Humanity had been preparing. In orbit, human fleets shifted into battle lines, their thrusters flared, their weapons charged. At the center of the formation, one colossal warship appeared. Larger, darker, more terrifying than the rest. Its design was alien, but its heart was human. It was the forgotten ship, rebuilt, reborn, and transformed into something greater than its creators ever imagined. The alien fleet froze at the sight. Recognition struck them. This was their lost warship, the very relic they had come to claim. But it no longer belonged to them. Its hull glowed with new power. Its systems pulsed with energy far beyond what they remembered. The humans had not only claimed it, they had mastered it. The alien commander's confidence faltered for the first time. His crew waited for his Orders, but his eyes lingered on the massive ship before him. He had expected a relic. Instead, he saw a monster. Earth's silence was finally broken. The human commander's voice cut through the void once more. 30,000 years ago, you left this ship behind. You thought it would wait for you. You thought we would wait for you. But we do not wait. We grow. We learn. And now you will learn too. The alien fleet prepared their weapons, but something in their hearts had already changed. They had returned as conquerors, certain of their power. Yet now, for the first time in ages, they felt the edge of fear. The old masters had returned to claim their ship, but what they had truly found was a humanity they no longer recognized. And above Earth, as the first sparks of battle lit the skies, the galaxy itself seemed to shiver. The alien fleet surrounded Earth like a storm of fire. Their weapons glowed, their shields hummed, their confidence unbroken. To them, victory was certain. They had come back to reclaim what was theirs, and no one in the galaxy doubted their power. But Earth was silent. Humanity did not beg, did not surrender, and did not fear. Instead, humanity revealed its secret. For centuries, the forgotten alien ship had been buried under stone. When explorers uncovered it, humanity had changed forever. Scientists swore it was more than metal. It was a library, a teacher, a doorway to knowledge far beyond the stars. Piece by piece, they learned from it. Engines that defied gravity became the backbone of human starships. Shields that bent light became the protection of cities. Weapons once meant to end worlds became the designs for Earth's defense. The galaxy believed humanity's rise was luck. They thought humans were clever, but limited. They never knew the truth, that hidden in Earth's soil had been the spark of a new age. And unlike the aliens who abandoned it, humans never wasted a gift. They took the ship, studied it, rebuilt it, and surpassed it. Now that very ship stood at the heart of Earth's fleet. Its alien design was still there, dark and sharp, but its core had been remade by human hands. Old engines were replaced with new systems more powerful than their creators could imagine. The ancient weapons were rebuilt into cannons that roared with human fury. The forgotten warship was no longer alien. It was human. When the alien commanders saw it, their pride cracked. Recognition turned into fear. That ship had been theirs, their weapon, their legacy. Now it was a monument to their failure. They had left it behind, believing humans were too weak to understand it. But humanity had done more than understand. Humanity had mastered. The human commander's voice broke the silence, calm yet sharp as steel. You think 30,000 years was nothing. For you, it was a pause. For us, it was everything. We built our world. We built our future. And we built it from what you left behind. The words cut deeper than any weapon. The alien fleets stirred uneasily. They had expected panic, but what they saw was control. The humans were not desperate. They were ready. Then the truth spread across the galaxy. Transmissions leaked, stories carried on every channel. Humanity had risen on the bones of an alien relic. Entire civilizations that once mocked humans now whispered in fear. The old masters had returned not to reclaim a weapon, but to face a species forged by it. On the flagship, the alien council argued. Some demanded they attack at once, crush Earth before its secret spread further. Others, for the first time in thousands of years, spoke of retreat. But pride was stronger than caution. The commander silenced them all with one order. Destroy them. Take back what is ours. But the moment they gave the command, the humans moved. Earth's fleet shifted, their formation perfect, their discipline terrifying. At the center, the rebuilt warship glowed with power, its engines burning brighter than suns. Across its hull, human-made weapons charged, humming with lethal energy. It was not a relic. It was the beating heart of humanity's vengeance. And then came the moment the aliens had not expected. The human commander gave a single order. Fire! The ship unleashed its fury. Beams of energy split through the void, tearing alien cruisers apart. Missiles darted like lightning, slamming into warships that had once been thought indestructible. In seconds, the proud fleet staggered, under the weight of human firepower. Alien captains shouted in disbelief. Their weapons struck back, but human shields absorbed the fury. Their engines flared, but human ships danced around them with impossible speed. It was not just technology. It was will. Humanity had learned to fight in ways no alien mind could predict. They had taken alien tools and turned them into human weapons. The forgotten ship was no longer forgotten. It was vengeance reborn. In the Yak, council chamber far across the stars, silence ruled. Delegates stared in horror at the broadcasts. They remembered the human delegates' warning. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Now those words rang louder than ever. For 30,000 years the aliens had believed the ship was waiting for them. They were wrong. Humanity had been the one waiting. The galaxy shivered as the truth became clear. Humanity's rise had never been chance. It had been built on the bones of ancient arrogance, and now that arrogance was facing its reckoning. Tior, alien commander, gave the order. Attack. The void around Earth exploded with light. Thousands of alien warships opened fire, their ancient cannons unleashing storms of plasma and beams that could shatter moons. The sky burned with weapons, older than human history. The old masters had come to remind the galaxy of their dominance. They believed no young species could stand against them, but humanity did not retreat. The human fleet surged forward, engines roaring, weapons igniting like a storm of fire. At the center, the rebuilt warship, once alien, now human, led the Yain charge. Its black hull drank the light of enemy fire. Shields shimmered as volleys struck, but the ship cut through the storm untouched. With a single command, it answered. Blinding lances of energy tore across space. Entire alien cruisers split apart, their remains tumbling into the void. Missiles streaked like lightning, chasing warships across the stars, detonating with thunder that shook the heavens. The old masters had expected fear, but what they found was fury. The clash was like nothing the galaxy had seen in millennia. Alien ships fought with discipline, their formations sharp and precise. But humans fought differently. They adapted. They moved with chaos that had purpose. Small frigates darted into blind spots, tearing at larger vessels. Fighters swarmed like hornets, striking weak points and vanishing before counterfire could catch them. Every time the aliens tried to predict their moves, the humans changed, rewriting the rules of battle in seconds. The alien commander's voice shook with anger. Hold the lines! Crush them! But the lines broke. Human ships slipped through gaps, striking command carriers, severing communication hubs. Explosions rippled through the alien fleet, each one a scar across their pride. For every human ship that fell, 3 alien ships were destroyed. And when the flagship of the alien, Vanguard, was finally struck, its explosion lit the void like a false sun. Across the galaxy, watchers trembled. Species who once doubted humanity now stared in silence at the unfolding war. They saw the old masters bleed. They saw a fleet that had ruled for thousands of years fall to a species once considered fragile. And in that moment they understood. The age of arrogance was ending. The alien council aboard their flagship could not comprehend it. Their weapons were stronger, their fleets larger, their experience unmatched. Yet the humans were winning. And it was not luck, it was design. Every blast from their weapons carried the precision of centuries of study. Every maneuver showed a mind sharpened by survival. The forgotten ship had not only taught them, it had prepared them. Then came the moment that sealed the battle. The human warship, the reborn relic, charged its core. Energy built across its hull, glowing brighter than a star. Alien sensors screamed warnings, but by the time they realized what was happening, it was too late. The ship fired. A beam of pure energy cut across the battlefield, a blade of light that split the void. Dozens of alien ships vanished in its path, sliced apart in silence before their crews could scream. Even the alien flagship staggered under the force, its shields shattering, its hull cracking open like glass. The old masters had brought their fleet to Earth with pride. Now that pride was burning in front of them, still they refused to flee. Pride was their chains. They fought on, even as their numbers dwindled, even as their screams filled the comms. But the humans did not stop. They pressed forward with relentless force, every shot a reminder of 30,000 years of waiting. On Earth below, humanity watched the skies burn. Citizens filled the streets, their eyes fixed on the heavens where their fleets carved history into the stars. For the first time, the world understood the truth. The forgotten ship had not been a burden. It had been a promise. A promise that, one day when the galaxy returned to claim it, humanity would stand ready. The alien commander looked at the battlefield in despair. His fleet was broken, his power shattered. He thought of the arrogance that had brought them here, the belief that humans were still children. And as another wave of explosions lit the void, he finally understood the truth. Humanity was no longer the student. Humanity was the master. The clash of the old and the new ended with silence. Alien ships drifted, broken and burning. Human fleets stood victorious, engines glowing in the dark. And at the center, the reborn warship loomed like a shadow, its message clear to every corner of the galaxy. The old masters had returned to reclaim their relic, but humanity had turned it into a weapon of reckoning. The battle was over. The reckoning was not. The battle was over, but the silence that followed was heavier than war. Above Earth, alien wreckage drifted like broken stars. Flames licked through shattered hulls. Once proud warships now reduced to floating tombs. Human fleets hovered among them, victorious yet cold, their weapons still glowing. The sky that had once belonged to the old masters now belonged to humanity. In the flagship of the defeated fleet, the alien commander stared at the ruins of his armada. His voice was hoarse, trembling as he whispered, "Impossible. They were supposed to be weak." Around him, his officers sat in silence, their pride shattered. For the first time in thousands of years, they felt fear. Not fear of losing a battle, but fear of extinction. Humanity had not just defended Earth. They had reshaped the galaxy's future. News spread faster than light. Across distant worlds, species who once mocked humans now whispered in awe. The stories grew. Humans who tamed fire from a forgotten ship. Humans who turned silence into a weapon. Humans who shattered an empire thought eternal. And in every corner of the galaxy, the same word spread: do not provoke them. But for the defeated, the price had only begun. The old masters sent desperate messages, begging for talks, offering surrender, even tribute. They promised to retreat, to never touch Earth again. They offered ships, resources, even worlds. They thought mercy could be bought. But humanity did not answer. The humans had not forgotten. 30,000 years ago, these same aliens had left their warship buried like a curse, certain that humans would remain children forever. They had returned not with peace, but with arrogance, demanding what was no longer theirs. Now they paid for that arrogance. The human fleets advanced into alien space. Their warships cut through defenses like knives through glass. Fortresses that had stood for centuries crumbled in hours. Worlds that once flew the banners of the old masters fell silent under human fire. And everywhere the same message was left behind, carved into the ruins. We warned you. In the council chamber, delegates who once laughed at the human delegate now sat frozen in terror. They remembered his words: "We do not forget, we do not forgive." Those words were no longer warnings. They were history being written. Entire civilizations now realized that humanity had not only risen, they had become the one power no one could ignore. On the homeworld of the old masters, the final reckoning came. Human fleets darkened their skies, filling the heavens with steel and fire. The alien leaders stood in their grand halls trembling as the human commander's voice reached them, calm, steady, merciless. You thought 30,000 years was nothing. You thought we would remain weak. But we are not weak. We are human. And this is the price of arrogance. The bombardment fell, towers crumbled, armies dissolved. The empire of the old masters once feared across the stars ended in fire and silence. Yet even in victory, humanity did not boast. They did not shout their triumph to the galaxy. They did not demand crowns or titles. They returned to their silence, the same silence that had always been their weapon. For humanity had no need to prove themselves with words. Their actions had already carved fear into the hearts of every world. And so, the galaxy changed. Empires that once ignored Earth now treated its every word with caution. Borders shifted, treaties were signed, and everywhere children grew up hearing the story of the forgotten ship, the relic that became the seed of human power, the relic that doomed those who left it behind. From that day forward, the galaxy never forgot the lesson. The old masters had returned after 30,000 years to reclaim their ship and their pride. Instead, they found a new master of the stars. Humanity had been waiting. Humanity had been preparing. And when the moment came, humanity proved what the Council had always feared. Humans do not forget. Humans do not forgive. And when provoked, humans make the galaxy pay. The silence returned, but it was no longer the silence of weakness. It was the silence of a predator, patient and watchful. And in that silence, the galaxy learned to tremble. The price of arrogance had been paid in full.